In Malaysia, bypassing the ticket counter means interacting with one of the most extensive automated transit networks in Southeast Asia. Travel media often suggests this is a frictionless experience, a single tap on a phone that works from the center of Kuala Lumpur to the Thai border. The reality on the ground is different. Successfully avoiding the long queues at human counters requires you to manage 3 entirely separate hardware and software systems, depending on where you are going. This comparison shows the gap between the expectation of a universal app and the practical reality. Instead of a digital wallet, this fragmentation means handling paper cash, physical tokens, and your passport. Every trip falls into 3 categories: express buses, city trains, or long-distance rail. If you approach these machines without knowing their specific logistical rules, you risk kiosk lockouts, holding up the line, or missing your departure entirely. The trade-off is simple. You avoid the queue at the counter, but you take on the burden of managing the specific rules of the machine. We will start with Rapid KL, the sprawling urban rail network serving Kuala Lumpur and the wider Klang Valley. As the scorecard indicates, the first friction point is payment. Many older kiosks require exact change in specific small denominations, typically 1, 5, or 10 ringgit notes. There is no ID check for these city trips, but the machine does not issue a paper ticket. Instead, it dispenses a physical, reusable blue plastic token. To enter the platform, you tap this token on the sensor pad at the entry turnstile. When you reach your destination, you must drop that same token into a coin slot at the exit gate, so the system can recycle it for the next passenger. Because you need the token to exit, your media risk is moderate. You have to keep track of a small plastic coin for the duration of your ride. If you lose that token mid-journey, the automated gates will not let you exit the station. While recycling tokens is efficient for the environment, it forces a cash-heavy, analog mentality onto a modern commute. Intercity travel follows a different set of rules, governed by Terminal Bersepadu Seletam for buses and KTM for long-distance trains. The bus terminal uses a centralized ticketing system, which is its primary technological advantage. This system aggregates every bus operator, schedule, and price into one single digital interface. This allows you to compare every available option on one screen, rather than walking between dozens of individual company booths. The scorecard shows broad payment flexibility here, including e-wallets and cards. But these long-haul systems introduce heavy friction through mandatory identity verification. Buying a ticket requires you to either physically scan your passport at the machine or manually type in your document details. This security layer slows down the transaction and requires you to handle your most sensitive travel documents in a crowded terminal. Once you finish the transaction, the kiosk prints a paper boarding pass with a scannable QR code. You must scan this code at the automatic departure gates to reach your platform. Because the gate relies entirely on that scanner, you are responsible for keeping that fragile paper receipt in perfect condition. If the QR code is damaged, the gate stays shut. These systems provide excellent booking transparency, but they sacrifice speed at the terminal due to strict ID requirements and fragile paper media. The reality of Malaysian transit is that bypassing the human counter means you take on the job of managing your own media and payments. We can simplify this into a protocol based on where you are going. For local rail, success depends on 2 things: having small ringgit notes ready before entering the station, and having a secure pocket for that plastic token. You have to adopt an exact change mindset before you even reach the kiosk. For long-distance travel, the protocol changes. You need your passport in your hand and your digital wallet open before you touch the screen, followed by a safe place to store a paper QR code. Having these items ready before you start the transaction is the only way to actually finish the process faster than standing in a manual queue. These kiosks are the fastest way to travel the country, but they are only faster for those who adapt to the rigid rules of the machine they are standing in front of.